Good morning, everyone. Welcome to First Church of Religious Science here in New York City, broadcasting from our studio audience. Welcome everyone who's signing in now to our Zoom call. This is a very large gathering. We also want to welcome everyone who's joining us, who will be listening today on Facebook, Insta, Spotify, YouTube. I think we're on X, all the social platforms. So welcome to our Sunday morning gathering. Some of you have been already at our meditation. So we're about ready to start. Today's lesson is Expand Your Horizons. So let's get into this lesson. Let's embark on this journey now to uncover the truth of you, the beauty within, and let's embrace the joy that comes from truly knowing who you are. You're one with the one, and the joy that comes from loving yourself more and more. Before we get into it, let me acknowledge all the people on the call who are new today. Welcome to the center. We have a time after the lesson where you can share. You can say hello and where you're from if you'd like to. No one's obligated to share, but we'd love hearing from you. I'm glad, if you're new, that you found us. I've always been told that there's no coincidence when you find a group like this, when you get to a gathering like this. And for those of you who join week after week and who participate and share your truth and your demonstrations, I just say thank you, because you make the experience a richer experience for everyone here. You're supporting the group in consciousness and with all your wonderful sharing. We're doing important work here, and we're glad you're here with us. You can watch us now again on most of the social media channels. If we're not on all of them, we will be soon. There's now 24-hour replays of all of our lessons on YouTube and Facebook. And as I said, all the meditations. We're on Spotify now. Some of our lessons are being done in Spanish. So viewing us on Zoom, I think, is the very best way to participate, because then you can be involved with the discussion afterwards with our members and our participants. And I think that's really wonderful if you're able to. So do the best you can to be here to join us on Zoom. But if not, there are all these other alternative ways to participate. It's always good to get your messages as well. And when it comes time to personal sharing, again, no one's ever obligated to share, but we do love hearing from you, and visitors especially. You could say you're from Alabama or Arizona or wherever you might be. So we love to hear what's going on with you. And we can sometimes answer questions if you have questions. We're here every single Wednesday, every single Thursday and Sunday to remind you of the wonder of your being. You're an individualization of spirit. There's never been another one like you, and there never will be. I'd like to read you something now from the textbook that we used to have in our program at First Church. Ernest Holmes wrote a paragraph or two in the beginning of the textbook. I'm going to paraphrase it today. It was the old welcome, as I said. And the essence of the message was this: welcome you, welcome thee. Peace be unto you, stranger. Enter into our gathering today. The door is open and you're welcome. There is room here for everyone. Everyone. I have prepared a place for you. It's warm and it's cheerful, and you will find peace and rest. The table has been prepared, and all the good of life awaits you. I have a chair for you. Sit, rest, refresh your soul. All is yours, and again, you are welcome. So that's an updated version. So let's start the morning again with a word or an affirmative statement. Please join with me in celebrating consciousness and spiritual truth. If these are new words to you, we will explain them to you more as we go along today. Let me start by saying consciousness, or my personal consciousness, can be thought of as the sum total of my knowing, my total awareness. You are a being a spiritual being, a being of light and wonder. Your consciousness is what you know. It's what you realize. It's the totality of your knowing. It's your present awareness. Again, your knowing. And you're always in a process of knowing more and growing and learning. So we never want to compare ourselves to another person, because everyone's in the perfect place, perfect time, and everyone is evolving. You're always becoming more than what you were before. Everything you've been through has brought you to the place that you are right now. We're always celebrating you every Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday, and one way or another, we're celebrating that you, that great being, that individualization of God life. And we're celebrating your expanding awareness. All of us are in a place of growth and evolution. The thing about life everywhere, life in every country, with all people everywhere, all of life is evolving and unfolding. Each one of us is growing, each one of us is evolving, and we're all on a spiritual pathway. So we want to be really careful not to be judging other people. Because if we're practicing this teaching, we understand that we live, we move, we have our being in this divine substance. And it's good, and it's unfolding. And you are good, and you are unfolding. So we start out by celebrating the idea of consciousness, expansion, and growth. And with this, there is a realization that there is spirit within each of us. I said we celebrate consciousness and we celebrate spiritual truth. Spiritual truths are big truths, often beyond facts. Our glossary would say spiritual truths are the ultimate, and they're incapable of further analysis. Spiritual truths are complete, changeless, and we help you to learn here about consciousness and spiritual truths in any of our classes and our gatherings. Our teaching, from Louise Hay's words, our teaching is a simple teaching. If there's anything you don't understand in anything we say, please reach out to us. I'd be happy to do my best to help clarify. I know sometimes with the textbook and some of the old books, it seems like a lot of information, but we can break it down. We can simplify these ideas. The textbook, being a textbook, can be difficult to relate to. However, if you get involved with the study or you keep showing up, there's things you can do. If you want to study the textbook, you could purchase a concordance to go with the textbook and help it become easier. And you could read passages from the glossary. These are good places to start. Or I think easier would be to regularly tune in here, because we attempt to make it very plain and understandable. There's many other books, audios, and videos that you can start with that would be easier than the text. If you're not a real reader, there's a lot of different ways to obtain this information and material. We have a lot of audio material that we can suggest online if you go to our website or you go to YouTube. We ourselves at First Center now have hundreds and hundreds of pieces of material that would be easy access and easy to comprehend. I want to remind you that our most famous student was Louise Hay, who studied here at First Church and who wrote the book, You Can Heal Your Life. She was our most famous practitioner. And Louise said it's all very simple. Louise didn't find it necessary to make this teaching complicated, nor do I. It's all very simple. She said, what you put out comes back to you. In other words, it's all about consciousness. So that's the thing to understand. We're always working on consciousness, or we will say it in another way. We're always working with the most important person in your world, which is you and your consciousness. Please don't make anybody have you think that this teaching is difficult, because it's not. It's not difficult to understand. If you really want transformation, you must have the willingness to trade in the old ideas, the lesser ideas, for the greater. So that sounds pretty simple. That doesn't sound complicated, right? Trading in the lesser ideas for the greater. So with Louise, again, she would say it's all very simple. And she would say that over and over again. in many different venues. Willingness, I often say, is the key. It's simple, but there needs to be a willingness if you want to change, if you want to grow, you want to evolve. Staying on course is another important idea that I learned from a British lady. She said, you must stay the course. You must keep tuning in. You must keep taking the time to take a pause and to remind yourself of the truth of who you are and what you are. You might remember what I just read from Ernest Holmes. He said, there is room here for everyone. Everyone. You don't need to be a great student or a scholar. He went on to say, I have prepared a place that's warm and wonderful, where you'll find rest and peace. It's all here for you. The good of life awaits you. And I'll add from another great book, the kingdom, if you will, of God is at hand. Or, miracles are natural from the Course in Miracles. If you're not experiencing them in your day-to-day living, something's gone wrong. That doesn't mean they're not here. It simply means that we're stuck in some way. We're caught in our belief system. We're unwilling to release a pattern because the kingdom, the goodness, it's all here. It's here for you every single minute. So we want to learn to practice the presence. We want to know that all is well. Thankfully for me, years ago, I found the science of mind after I had been teaching and facilitating the book, You Can Heal Your Life. As I had studied and taught and facilitated the Louise Hay material for quite a while, it made tackling the Science of Mind textbook much easier because I understood it better and I acquired the basic understanding of how it works. I intend, as I teach any of these classes, for you to make it easy for you to understand because it doesn't have to be complicated. I remember attending a religious science church in the 1980s thinking that they were making this all unnecessarily difficult. And people are all confused in some of the classes. Books written by Louise Hay and Wayne Dyer and others that came along a little bit later made it much more accessible. Louise Hay had a tremendous gift, and she made this gift to the entire New Thought movement, not just because she wrote an international bestseller and she reached I don't know how many millions of people, upwards close to 100 million. She started a publishing company too that was devoted primarily to New Thought books and audios. So Louise started right here with us at our New York church. And in the same tradition as Louise, we intend to make it simple. We intend to make it powerful. We intend to make it easy. We always intend to make our presentations understandable. We want to take some of the mystery out of the mysterious. Please don't let anyone ever tell you that they can tell you all about God, because each and every one of you on this call are individualizations of that divine source yourself. Each of you are an inlet, an outlet of this activity. When I was younger and I was in classes, people would say, I am God. And I'd look at these people like, who are they? But what they were really learning in the classes is they're individualizations of source. Deep at the center of your being is this activity. You have access to the infinite. If you take that time to pause and reflect and go within, there is always that part of you that knows and guides. And it will show you the way if you let it. It's something that can't be really described. It's something that can't be adequately named. In our textbook, the titles of the first 4 chapters will give you a clue how Ernest Holmes grappled with naming this thing. The first chapter, he entitled The Thing Itself, which took me by great surprise when I first was studying this material, because I'm always thinking of this idea of God, this higher power, is a sacred thing above. That was me many, many years ago. But Ernest Holmes would talk about this divine process, this loving energy as the thing itself. And the second chapter was entitled The Way It Works. The third, What It Does. And the fourth chapter is How to use it, how you can use this power. So there's an attempt in the textbook to explain it, explain how it works, what it does, and how we can personally begin to use it. If you read those chapters, you'll quickly understand that we're not talking about a God that's elsewhere. We're not talking about a God that's removed. We're talking about a God that's immanent. We're talking about a God that's within you. You're sitting or standing on holy ground. This thing you're looking for is a part of you. It's in you. Louise, in many of her meditations, would say deep at the center of your being is this infinite thing, this infinite well of love, light. What we're talking about always is a presence, again, that's never an absence. We're not talking about anything that's above or below. We're talking again about a presence that's never anywhere except within. That's the place to think of it. And knowing and realizing that you are an aspect, you are a point of power within the very essence of it. The thing we're talking about always here is that it's here and it's available to you. And this very thing that we're thinking about and imagining is in every person everywhere. There's not a spot where God is not. So we're never going to tell you who to pray to or how to pray. We will help you to understand some of the key points, though, that are in the text. Ultimately, this is something you figure out for yourself through practice and observation. Ernest Holmes' big thing in the teaching was for us, the ministers, the teachers, to keep pointing you to the mystery. The mystery is that thing, that divine thing is in you, operating through you. If we could do this work for you, of course we would, but it doesn't work that way. Ernest Holmes, when he was thinking of this higher power and thinking about the idea of the suffering in the world, he said, suffering is not God ordained. It's not of God. So if our life is full of pain and problems or not working well, that indicates there's something for us to look at, and there's something for us to change in the way of our thinking or the patterns that are within us. Life is always responding to us. Always, always, Louise would say. And Louise would say it's all very simple. Let's all unite in that knowing today, that knowing of truth. Let's unite in knowing that we are one with each other, that we're individualizations of this divine activity, this creative something. And with this spiritual knowledge, let us be open to greater expressions of our spiritual selves. As we know who we are, as we realize that we're individualizations of God life, then we're better able to embody the attributes of God. We become more peaceful, more powerful, more poised, more whole, more complete, and optimistic. So today I celebrate the truth here on this planet that everything's in divine order and that all is well. Everything's evolving and going forward in perfect ways. I know it's so. I know it works, and I open myself up to greater and greater expressions of it. And so it is. So today we're talking about creating a bigger life and challenging ourselves to expand our horizons. I want to share a story with you to set the stage a little bit for what we're talking about. Once upon a time, in a village that faced a severe drought, the villagers depended on a well, a small well, for their water supply, but the well seemed to be drying up. In desperation, they approached a wise old man who lived on the outskirts of the village, and he advised them. He said, "You need bigger buckets." Confused, thinking, why would I need bigger buckets for a little well that's drying up, no less? The old man then explained, "Your well is small and limited. If you want to survive and thrive, you must seek out the larger reservoir that lies beyond the hills. With bigger buckets, you can bring back enough water to nourish the village, your village, and much more." The villagers, not having much choice, took his advice, and indeed, they found a vast reservoir of water beyond the hills. By expanding their horizons and using bigger buckets, they brought back abundance to their village. This little story illustrates a powerful principle. To receive more, much more, we must expand our capacity to receive. Louise Hay wrote, "The act of self-discovery, the act of discovering who you are, how great thou art, is the path to a joyful and prosperous life." When we open ourselves up to limitless possibilities, and really you exist as pure potential, when you open yourselves up to limitless possibilities within you and around you, you begin to tap into this great reservoir, this unlimited reservoir of abundance and joy and opportunity. The self, that part of you that's connected with Source, that self with a capital S, refers to our true divine nature. It is the essence of who you are, beyond any role you play in life, beyond any achievement, beyond your physical form. It's the part of us that is connected always to the infinite, connected to the universal spirit, to the source of all life. Knowing again that, say to yourself, I'm one with Source, I'm connected with it all. When Louise encourages us to engage in the act of self-discovery, she's inviting us to explore and connect with this deeper spiritual aspect of ourselves. This idea of self-discovery is not new. It echoes the ancient wisdom inscribed at the Temple of Apollo at Delphi in Greece. Socrates, you all heard me talk of him before, would say, know thyself. It's the classical Greek, he was the classical Greek philosopher. He was always saying, know thyself, inquire within. He believed that true wisdom comes from knowing ourselves, knowing who we are and what we are, understanding our own nature and recognizing our intrinsic worth, our value, and with our connection to the greater cosmos. He taught by turning our gaze inward and taking a look at our beliefs, our thoughts and our beliefs, we can uncover great truths about ourselves. We can discover our purpose. The Temple of Apollo, dedicated to the god of healing and truth, serves as a historical testament to the enduring significance of self-discovery. Knowing yourself is just as important today as it's ever been. Loving yourself more is what we do here. We become aware that deep at the center of our being is this infinite presence. We have an internal guidance system within. And if we inquire within, it knows and it will lead the way. It urges us to seek inner knowledge and wisdom as a pathway to a fulfilled and enlightened life. In the context of our teachings of science of mind and new thought, this self-discovery, discovering how great you are, aligns with the understanding and embracing our spiritual connection. The conversation you have with yourself is the most important conversation you're having. You're having it all the time. Most Thursdays I ask, what has it been like being you? What's the conversation been like? Louise Hay often asked, what is the conversation like in your mind? She believed that we're constantly having a dialogue with ourselves, and it's being outpictured in our life. And so it's very important to make it a loving and supportive conversation. Imagine, if you will, for a moment, the inner dialogue that you're having every day. And is your dialogue kind? Are your words kind? Are you encouraging? Are you encouraging yourself? Are you encouraging across the board? Or do you find yourself caught up in a web of self-doubt, criticism? If you're involved in, if you're caught up in any negativity, as you hear me say week after week, it's important to begin to transform that dialogue. That's the greatest act of self-love that you could do. I'm going to give you a few techniques for self-transformation, for self-discovery, things I've tried that have worked for me. I was using journals for a long time, but before that I was using affirmations. Positive affirmations will help you replace negative thoughts. For example, if you find yourself thinking, I'm dumb or I'm not good enough, counter it with, I'm worthy and I'm capable of achieving great things. Write your affirmations down, place them where you'll see them daily, and keep reminding yourself of the truth of who you are. Focus on what you're grateful for, what you're grateful about. Keeping a gratitude journal can help shift your focus from what's missing to what's abundant in your life. Every day, whenever you can, review these things, write them down, and feel the warmth and the joy that gratitude will bring you. Feel the shift. Meditation daily, a few pauses. The pause that refreshes. Take some time out to center yourself and to remind you of your affirmations. Practicing mindfulness is important to become aware of your thoughts without judgment. You see yourself thinking a negative thought, cancel it out, and replace it with something that's positive. This kind of awareness will help you detach from negative thoughts and choose the more life-giving ones. Take a few moments each day, if you can, to sit quietly. Get intentional about it. Take these timeouts for yourself. It really doesn't matter. Journaling, which I did for a few years, affirmations, mantras, whatever you need to do to slow it down and to turn that conversation around, to trade in the lesser ideas for the greater. That's the goal. Let go of any judgments that you find yourself making quickly and simply be present. Attempt to surround yourself with positivity. Engage with positive people. Commune with some great ideas. Bill Tolliver used to say to his students, you live in a time and age where you can commune with some of the greatest minds that have ever lived. And that's so true. I mean, it's not just in books anymore. Now you can do it on YouTube. You can do it in all kinds of places. I give you lots of ideas. Read uplifting books. Listen to great audio video. Any and all of this can help create an environment that supports your journey forward in positivity. Choose your influences wisely, for your influences shape your thoughts and your feelings. Mantras, I wrote that down because a mantra is a word, if you repeat it often enough, it will aid you in concentrating and redirecting your focus. At one point in my life, I was chanting a lot. And the chant was Om Namah Shivaya, which is chanted by millions of people in the world. This sound will help align your mind, your body, and your spirit. Mantras are powerful tools for focusing the mind and opening up divine guidance. Here are a few mantras you might find helpful. You could focus on the simple phrase, I am peace, I am love, I am whole, I am abundance, I'm guided, I'm grateful. Using simple mantras regularly can help you center yourself and connect with your inner divine nature. I remember a story about a small business owner who struggled for years to grow his business. He was stuck in a cycle of limited thinking and fear of failure. One day he attended a seminar on abundance and how to develop positive expectancy. The speaker talked about the importance of thinking big and expanding your horizons, which is the title today. Inspired, the business owner decided to take a leap of faith, and he invested in larger projects. He hired more staff, and he decided to market his business more than he had ever done before. Within 1 year, his business had doubled in size, and he was experiencing levels of success he had never imagined. By expanding his thinking and embracing the idea of bigger buckets, he was able to bring about more abundance into his life. So that's something we may all want to think about, how to develop bigger buckets. Like the people with the small well, he needed to expand their horizons. In this story too, by expanding and thinking about embracing the idea of bigger buckets, this business person was able to bring about more abundance in his life. So we'll think about that now. Let's take a few moments for a little guided process. on expanding our horizons. I hope you're sitting in a comfortable chair. You could close your eyes for a moment if you want and take in a deep breath. And as you exhale, let go of any tension. Visualize a warm, radiant light glowing at the center of your heart. This light represents your inner light, your radiance, your essence, the essence of love and joy that are within you. With every breath, feel this light expand, filling your entire being with warmth and compassion. Now, imagine this light growing even brighter and larger, extending beyond your body and into the world all around you. And say silently to yourself, I'm open to limitless possibilities, the limitless possibilities of the universe. I expand my capacity to receive and embrace abundance in all forms. I'm open to limitless possibilities. I expand my capacity to receive and embrace abundance in all forms. So let's stay in this space of expansion and openness for just a second. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes, carrying with you this sense of limitless possibility with you. Let's affirm together, I'm worthy of receiving all the good that life has to offer. Yes, I'm worthy of receiving all the good that life has to offer. I embrace the abundance of the universe and I expand my capacity to receive. So we're embracing abundance and expanding our capacity to receive. I release all the limitations, all my limitations, and I open myself to new possibilities. So here we are releasing our limitations and opening ourselves up to new possibilities. And now say, I attract prosperity, love, and joy. I attract prosperity, love, and joy. As we prepare to wrap up today's lesson and turn the microphones over to you, let's remember the wisdom of Louise Hay. In the ancient teachings, I think originally from Socrates, which said, know yourself. By expanding your horizons and embracing the abundance of the universe, we can transform our lives in ways that we never thought possible. Remember, you are one with the one. You have everything you need. You have what it takes. You are a magnificent expression of divine light and love. Yes, you. There's nobody nicer to be nicer to than you to you. You are a magnificent expression of divine light and love. Embrace your greatness, knowing that you are a powerful creator, capable of manifesting all the good that you could ever desire. So let's end with an affirmative prayer. I know that within me lies the power of love and abundance. I'm guided by this power, and I express it in every thought, word, and action. I release any and all negativity, and I embrace the truth of my being. I'm whole, perfect, and complete. As I expand my horizons now, I attract limitless possibilities of abundance into my life. And so it is. Thank you for all for joining with us this morning. If you're new, we're going to turn the microphones over. Please put your hand up or say hello if we call your name. We look forward to hearing from you. So now we're going to turn the cameras over to you and hear from you. Let's hear what your week has been like, what demonstrations you might have had, what blessings. I have a quick poem for you about expanding your horizons. And here it is. In a world so vast with endless skies, why limit our view with narrow eyes? Grab a bigger bucket, take a leap, for the dreams we sow are the ones we reap. Open your heart, let the world pour in. With love and joy, let the journey begin. Expand your horizons, reach for the stars. Remember, friends, how amazing you are. Thank you again, everyone. Have a wonderful week, and so it is.